Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. One of Vermont's oldest and respected tourist attractions recently hosted scores of young people from across the state. It was part of 4-H Day at the UVM Morgan Horse Farm in Weybridge. The Morgan is well known as a Vermont state animal, and the farm is a beacon for horse and history lovers. It draws up to 30,000 visitors a year. As part of the University of Vermont, the farm is also home to hands-on applied science courses and other educational programs. As Rebecca Gollin shows us, 4-H'ers in Vermont took it all in.
Summer at the University of Vermont's Morgan Horse Farm in Weybridge is full of activity. Visitors come daily to check out the new foals and to see the farm in action. A recent event brought some new guests to the farm.
We are very excited to have 4-H Day today. This is the first of hopefully an annual event. We've asked local 4-H members to come do some exhibits like this wonderful skeleton exhibit behind me, as well as other STEM-related topics that are involved with horses.
4-H members from around the state came to the event.
Today I decided to come because I was told that my 4-H club will be coming and touring the building, seeing all the horses. And horses have always been a big part of my life, and UVM is actually an interest for me. So I was like, hey, this looks interesting. I love horses, and I can go help grow 4-H, so why not?
Awesome. A lot of the 4-H'ers I know anyway, they do work with paints, quarter horses, thoroughbreds. They don't do a lot of work with Morgans. Even though Morgans are the breed of Vermont, a lot of the 4-H'ers don't use Morgans. So it's neat to learn more about this specific breed and like its origins and what they're supposed to look like for judging purposes and breeding purposes, what jobs they can do, that type of thing.
The 4-H'ers toured the facility and got a chance to check out displays about the Morgan breed as well as farm safety.
It's important to learn about how to be safe around animals and how to be safe around equipment that you'd find in more rural communities. So yes, here we have today some education about tractor safety and really just farm safety in general. And then just touring the facility, you get more familiar with how to be safe around animals, whether you're a horse person or not.
One of the women pull it and walk away, hold them over your head.
A tractor safety display let youth get hands-on with some equipment.
On a horse farm, there might be some tractor work being done. A lot of the kids in 4-H work or live around tractors. And if they're real young, I'm going to tell them basically keep away from it. And a couple of the reasons why it's dangerous. And I've got some demonstrations about why they roll over and, if they're a little older and they're operating, or if they're 14 or 15 and they're eligible to get the certification, I might tell them about that.
UVM Extension's Liz Kenton teaches tractor safety. She says that while many 4-H'ers might be comfortable around big machinery, there's other factors that go into being safe on a farm.
It's not just the machines, but it's taking care of yourself like you take care of your machines. You got to be fueled and rested and watered and all of that. And I think farmers work so hard, sometimes they forget to take care of themselves. So that's part of the same conversation. The machines do a lot of valuable work and they can be dangerous, and people do a lot of valuable work and got to take care of themselves so they can keep on doing it.
For these 4-H'ers, the visit was a hit.
I think it's really cool to see a lot of 4-H'ers around, because in the 4-H world, you're supposed to do a lot of things yourself and with the help of other 4-H'ers. So it's developing you to become independent when you're not always going to have adults to do everything for you. So it's really cool to see everybody, younger college students even, just doing things by themselves with a little instruction.
Bringing a unique educational opportunity to Vermont youth at one of Vermont's most historic farms. UVM Extension's 4-H and the Morgan Horse Farm celebrate a new chance to connect. In Weybridge, I'm Rebecca Gollin with Across the Fence.
4-H Day is one of the many events that the farm hosts during the year. Coming up next month is Cavalry Day. It's a chance to learn about the Morgan's important role in the building of our country.
We have a couple great events coming up this year. On September 8th, we're going to do a Cavalry Day for the first time to acknowledge the Morgan's important role in the cavalry. And so we'll have some Civil War reenactors here who will actually do live action reenactments, which will be great. And we're going to set up a living history tent. And so we will have reenactors educating the public on what it was like to live at that time and to be an active duty soldier during the Civil War. And so we're really excited to kind of promote the historical role of the Morgan. And then we're going to be drawing our raffle ticket winner on Saturday, October 27th, which will also be the day, an open house, Day of the Morgan. So we'd love for people to come back and visit for that as well.
To learn more about public events at the UVM Morgan Horse Farm, including the upcoming Cavalry Day, check the website uvm.edu/Morgan. You can also call the farm at 802-388-2011. Our next two segments look at elements of Eastern Asia in Vermont. First, the commercial aspect. Sriracha is a traditional hot sauce from Thailand. Over the past decade, it's become widely popular worldwide. So perhaps it's not surprising that two Vermont entrepreneurs have blended sriracha with maple. Keith Silva tells us more.
From chips to dips, and from soup to nuts, sriracha is hot.
Sriracha has become sort of this mainstream style of hot sauce. It's almost like the new ketchup.
And in some cases, it is ketchup. Sriracha is made from chili peppers, garlic, vinegar, sugar, and salt. Its popularity in the U.S. is due to David Tran, the founder of Huy Fong Foods. Tran, a Vietnamese immigrant, developed what's commonly called rooster sauce, the first name in stateside sriracha.
Lower those down a foot. Yeah.
Jackson Whalen and his business partner, Lenny, Big Lenny Montori, run Vermont Maple Sriracha in Rutland. As the company's name states, it's a very Vermont take on the ubiquitous sauce.
Our hot sauce isn't that spicy by hot sauce standards. You're not going to regret it a day later if you have Vermont Maple Sriracha. And every bottle is unique because every harvest of peppers is different. So we might get a batch of jalapenos that's slightly hotter than the last one, but because we don't add anything like xanthan gum or any of these thickeners or water to it, we can't adjust the heat. So the heat is what it is. It's relatively consistent, but we've had batches at a certain point in the season where the peppers just happen to be hotter.
It took Whalen and Montori 7 tries before they got the recipe to their liking. It's personal preference that guides their business decisions, for better or for worse.
Everything we do here is how would we do it if we did it for ourselves. So when we first started making sriracha, we would buy these bushels of peppers. And after a pepper gets picked, the first thing that doesn't look good on it is the stem. It starts to dry out. So traditionally, if you're manufacturing hot sauce at scale, you clean everything, but you throw the stems in with it, you grind it up, it becomes part of the sauce. When we were making this, 10 gallons at a time on Lenny's stove, we cut every stem off because that's the way we wanted it because we were going to eat it ourselves. So the same reason, that's why we kept the recipe simple, because we make it like we'd make it for ourselves. Now in terms of, economics and profitability, that's kind of coming around to bite us, but we keep reminding ourselves that the reason that people like it so much is because we did take the time to cut the stems off. We did take the time to figure out how to make this natural sauce, preserve it naturally, and not put artificial ingredients into it. If it's not something we would do for ourselves, then we don't do it. So that's sort of the guiding principle of everything we make here.
The production of Vermont Maple Sriracha has gone from being made on Big Lenny's stovetop to a nearby commercial kitchen. Here at the Vermont Farmers Food Center, west of downtown Rutland, Whalen and Montori have built a facility to process sriracha-flavored cashews, what they call sriracha shoes. Expansion was another decision that wasn't in the business plan or done by the book.
What business plan? It's really entrepreneurship by gut. Everything we've done here, we've been told was not possible and that we shouldn't try and do. So if we had paid attention to all the business books and business planning advice that we've gotten, you and I wouldn't be standing here, and we wouldn't be making sriracha shoes because we wouldn't have been able to take control over it. So we've kind of had to throw a lot of that out the window. And specialty food's a particularly brutal, low-margin business to begin with, so you have to have a little blind ambition, you know.
At $10.99 a bottle, consumers have to show a little blind faith as well. Whalen says customers tell him it's worth every penny.
Yes, our hot sauce is expensive compared to other hot sauces produced at a giant, massive scale, but I think the people that appreciate it value what we put into it and are willing to keep supporting us. So we've been really encouraged that things have continued to grow. We haven't had any artificial spikes where we've crashed really hard. That's an excellent question. Why do we keep doing this? And it really is motivated by the response we get from the people who are eating it.
If there's one thing to say about Vermont maple sriracha, it's not too hot, but it sure is getting hotter. In Rutland, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Our final segment this afternoon also connects Vermont with the Far East. It's a piece from our video library that we first showed you in 2014. It centers on the Tibetan Buddhist tradition of sand mandalas. Two monks who visited UVM's Fleming Museum painstakingly created a gorgeous mandala. Enjoy. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.